Football is back. Tonight we'll be talking about the new power ranking system. We have a ton of NFL news for you, and we have a surprise for you during tonight's broadcast. All this and more in 20 seconds. Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome to the Fanatically Real broadcast sponsored by Football, Darts, and Fantasy Sports Alliance. Let's see who's out there. Damien's out there with us, both Damiens, Damien Scott and Damien Gratz. MJ's on with us. Doug's on with us. Doug, I saw you were live earlier with Donahue. I didn't log in to see what you guys were talking about, but I did see that was on there. I'll have to go back and watch that if it's still out there for me to be able to look at. So I hope you like seeing all the comments pop up on the screen tonight. Maybe you see a little bit different layout than what you're used to. The first little bit of the surprise for tonight, so make sure you are still watching. My wife says, "Why are you screaming?" She must be able to hear me all the way downstairs, maybe. Eric from Empty Wagon says 24 hours to kick off. Man, I just can't believe that we're finally here. It is football season, you all. Hey, but before we get into football season, and since we have 24 hours, let's talk about tonight's broadcast sponsor. They are Football Darts. Football Darts is a dart game that combines the skill of traditional darts with the strategies of American football. This innovative dart game is played on a uniquely designed multiple target dartboard. Unlike traditional British darts, American football darts is a game that combines both the skill of darts and the strategies of football. It can be played in sports bars, at tailgate events, as league tournaments, or as a leisure activity in the comfort of your home. If you would like to check out their officially licensed collegiate dartboards, go to footballdarts.com. MJ says, "No, I am screaming." It's a very good possibility that what you're seeing me on tonight might be channeling a little bit better, or it could be because I rearranged the desktop a little bit tonight because I didn't need to have nearly as many devices and as many things going on. So the microphone might be a little bit closer as well. Jason says I'm really loud as well. Ringgold is out there saying this is sweet. Misty says she likes the comments on the side. Everybody says I'm yelling at them. I'll have to figure out how to adjust the volume on this new one. Hey, before we adjust the volume, though, we're going to talk about the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. They say an empty wagon makes a lot of noise. Listen to our partners, Josh, Brad, and Eric, on their fantasy football podcast, the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. They are your one-stop shop for fantasy football information and news. The guys talk rankings and projections with a whole lot of comedy. So this week, they did two shows. The first show was called Football is Back, Week 1 Preview. Brad and Eric were there this week. They broke down all their starts and sits from each one of the games over this opening weekend. And they also sprinkled in their heroes and villains. If you've been with us for a while, you know what the heroes and villains are all about. So they brought that out to us a little bit different this year than last year. And the second show they did, which was awesome for us, is they did a draft recap of all of the FSA regional drafts. Guys had a lot of nice things to say about FSA, so we very much appreciate that. Please go out and listen to both of the episodes. You can find the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast on Anchor at anchor.fm. Go there and subscribe to their show, and then also go follow them on all of their social media, and that is at Empty Wagon FF. Football Dart logo didn't show. Mike is louder than normal. Jason says it's echoey. What specs do you need for this new software? Eric, I'm pretty sure with what you guys do with the Empty Wagon show will be great for this. Like, you'll have no problems with this. No additional stuff is needed than what you guys already got. Bill the Third says it's shouty. For those of you that have listened to or went to the drafts with us this year and were able to switch the names over on MFL to the different people, you'll know who Shouty is. Damien says it every week for us. If you're not listening to Empty Wagon Podcast, you are doing fantasy wrong. MJ says it's a great show. Eric Figueroa is on with us. Eric, I hope you got my message that I sent out to you earlier about the ad drops for the season. Jason says, are you no longer using OBS? Jason, for the moment, we are not using OBS. No. Please let us know what you think about this. Other than me being loud right now, please let me know what you think about the setup tonight. Eric, no, thank you guys for the kind words. Very much appreciate it. Rocky says the picture is clear. Chris says, what have I missed? Chris, you've missed the whole show. Well, you'll have to go back and watch the replay, brother. If you like the show tonight, that way Chris can make sure he sees it. Go out, like, subscribe, share, make sure everybody can see this show tonight. Go out on the Facebook page after this is over, do all of that fun stuff. Please and thank you. So what we said at the top of the show was we were going to talk about the new power ranking system. I kind of teased you about this last week as well. For those of you that are new to FSA, you won't know what the old system looked like anyways, but I'm going to explain it for those that were out there so they can see what the differences are between the two power ranking systems. So over the last couple of years, we kind of borrowed an idea from what CBS Sports does for their power ranking system and the alternate power ranking system for NFL as well. And it used three criteria. It used your win-loss percentage for all of your games that you played head-to-head. It used your total points, and it used your all-play record. Your all-play record was, imagine right now with our 72 teams that are in FSA, that you played the 71 other teams that are in the league every single week. Based on the number of points that you score, you would end up with a record of anywhere between 71 and 0 all the way down to 0 and 71. That was a cumulative total that ran all year, and you would have a win-loss percentage based on that as well. So of those three criteria, your win-loss record of head-to-head, your total points, and your all-play record, in each one of those categories, the teams were racked and stacked from first to worst, and you were awarded points from 72 down to 1, using 72 teams for this year as an instance. Then you would total those three numbers. So let's say that you were 72, 72, and 72. Quick math tells me that's 216 points would be the maximum amount of points that you can score. We wanted that number to be a BCS-like number, so we would divide that by 216, and it would give you a BCS-type number. Old system, that's what we did before. This year, we were borrowing a system that I've seen play out for the last 2 or 3 seasons, with the NCFF that Ross Norris runs, who is also the co-commissioner with me in the QB54 Arm and Leg League. The way they do their system is it really only uses 2 criteria, but it does take a lot more calculating to make this happen, which no other system out there does this. We will be doing this a lot by hand. Power rankings will probably take me 45 minutes to an hour each week to do for you and then get them posted. The plan is to continue doing like we've always done for years and have them out to you by noon on Tuesday. Of course, I will be doing these from my office during lunch now to make sure that I get them for you because it won't be automatic anymore. But here's the criteria for it. There is going to be a category called quality win points. Quality win points are based on the number of wins that the teams that you defeat have. And it's not just the number of wins they have at the time that you beat them. Once you beat a team, that basically goes on your resume, we'll say, all right? And then for every win that they earn all year, that becomes a quality win for you. So let's say you beat a team in the first week, right? And they haven't beat anybody yet. So they have 0 wins right now. But let's say that's their only loss for the year, and they go on and win 10 other games. So you collect their 10 wins for the year, and that's part of your quality wins. That is added to all of the other quality wins for all of the games that you win in the season. That's going to give you a total number. Then that number is going to be multiplied by your all-play record. Your all-play record is exactly like I explained it from the old system, where it's like you played every team every week. In this case, you would have a running total of anywhere between 71 and 0 and 0 and 71. Cumulative, you get a win-loss percentage based on that. If you're undefeated, it's 1.0, of course. If you're at 500 ball, it's 0.500. And that number is multiplied by your quality wins. And then it gives you what we're going to call, to kind of go with the theme of everything that is FSA, we're going to call that your wizard score. Once we have your wizard score, then we are going to rack and stack that from first all the way down to 72nd. And then based on that, you will get a ranking that will go next to your name in the standings 1 through 25, because we're going to display the top 25 each week. Now, unlike last year when your power rankings was before your team name, because of the way that we have to do the system by hand this year, your power ranking is going to go after your name this year, just so you know. So for those that are used to seeing it before, it's going to go after because it helps us with alphabetical sorting to be able to do this power ranking system. It really will reward those teams that end up being a really hard opponent or a opponent that has a lot of wins compared to them, where the old system did not do that. Like I said, I've seen it work for 2 or 3 seasons under NCFF. It is a very good system, and that's what we're going with for the year. I wish I had an example of what it would look like, but you all will see it after the first week. The first week will not have any quality wins associated with it because everybody's either got 1 win or 1 loss. So we'd be multiplying by 1. In this case, the power rankings after week 1 are going to be just straight all play record. All right. That even includes the people that did not get a win in the first week will be included in that. So it's a possibility that even without a win, if you scored enough points and your opponent just happened to score way more than you, that you could at 0-1 still be better than a team that is 1-0 after the first week. So hopefully that doesn't confuse too many people. Jason said, just saw a video glitch from shoulders down flashed. That's interesting. Damian says, like when he beats Kevin in week 1, that is what that's going to look like. Well, so if you beat Kevin, you better hope that you're above him. In that case, you would, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be at the top of the list with everybody. So there you go. Let's just hope. And it's funny, Damian, that you mentioned Kevin Godwin. I'm assuming that you're talking about, right? And I said at the top of the show that we had a whole bunch of NFL news to give you, but I'm not giving it to you this week. Kevin Godwin, general manager of the Evil Empire, is going to give you your NFL news this week. Kevin, how are you?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me on. And Damien, that's not going to happen, so no worries, bud, on your power rankings.
So for those who don't know, Kevin Godwin is going to come over and start doing broadcast with FSA. He will be here for the Fanatically Real broadcast on Wednesdays. There's more to follow after that, but we want to spoiler. We want to keep giving you surprises every single week. So for now, we're just going to say that he's going to be here with us for a minute. So what I wanted Kevin to do was introduce himself to everybody that's out there. And then he's going to go into the NFL news. And then you'll get to see my ugly face back here in a little bit. So Kevin, show is yours, my friend.
So thank you, Brian, again for having me on and having me on board the FSA family. As you mentioned, my name is Kevin, and I am the owner of the Evil Empire, an homage to my favorite NFL team, the New England Patriots, which we will touch on in a little bit. But a little bit about myself, I am from New Jersey. Been playing fantasy football for about 10 years now. Everything from single day leagues, weekly leagues, dynasty, auction, all the way through redraft. First year playing with FSA, and happy to see many more to come in my future. But with that being said, on to some NFL news ahead of tomorrow's night's game. The Texans signed quarterback Deshaun Watson to a 4-year, $160 million extension with 111 of that guaranteed. The Patriots, who I mentioned earlier, being my favorite team, unfortunately released Lamar Miller with Damian Harris going to the IR. That means that he will miss 3 games minimum with an injury. The Dolphins released quarterback Josh Rosen. The Chargers and wide receiver Keenan Allen agreed to a 4-year, $80 million extension. Former Washington running back Adrian Peterson is cut and then signs with the Lions for a $1.1 million deal. The Texans signed defensive end Jadeveon Clowney to a 1-year deal with up to $15 million. The Broncos linebacker Von Miller suffers a dislocated tendon in his ankle, which he will miss the season for due to surgery. The Cardinals and wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins agreed to a 2-year extension that includes 42.5 fully guaranteed. And then the Rams give Ramsey a 5-year, $105 million extension, making him the highest paid corner in the league.
What else you got? Is that it?
That's it.
Wasn't that enough? So I know we don't normally mention a lot of defensive players, but there's some big names with a lot of stuff going on in the defense right now. So we thought we would definitely mention that stuff as well. Damian says that the Bills are finally going to take over that division. It's a possibility.
Yeah, I think this is their best chance to do so. They finally have a deep threat a true deep threat in Stephon Diggs to give their deep arm within Josh Allen. But you can never count out Bill Belichick and his new look run first offense with Cam in the backfield. So I wouldn't count us out yet.
So I like Brad Buckner's comment here about where's the OBJ news. I don't think that's something we want to discuss on air right now. I think we want to keep this PG. So we won't discuss that. And if anybody doesn't know that what we're talking about, just go out and Google or Twitter or Instagram or whatever it is that you do out there, and you'll figure out what Brad is talking about. Thanks for asking, though. MJ says she loves the layout. So Rocky says, Rocky, what'd you say here? Where is your cam? And Sean Purcell made it. Sean, how are you? So if Rocky's asking where is Cam at, come back next week, and we'll let you know what's going on with Cam. Come on back. So now we're getting into the season starts tomorrow, y'all. It's Thursday night football, right? So we're opening the season with last year's Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs. Houston's coming into town to play at Kansas City. Kansas City favored by 9.5 with the over-under at 54. I don't know how much that has changed. I know if the Empty Wagon guys are out there listening to this right now, they will correct me if need be, because I know that these things update all the time. Oh, where is the Cam due? What does his hair look like? I don't know that I've ever really looked at Cam's hair before. It's always in a helmet.
Well, Cam's hair is usually hidden by some sort of handkerchief or hood type deal.
True.
I unfortunately, am not stylish enough to pull anything like that off. Bandana's going to have to work for now.
So for those of you who have watched for a couple of years, now know that on Wednesdays, once the season starts, I pick my Thursday night prediction of who I think is going to win. I slide the hat on, and we do the rest of the broadcast that way. I don't think there's any secret, and it shouldn't be to anybody, that there is absolutely no way that Kansas City loses this game. You take it to the bank. I see at least a 10-point win for Kansas City, which is probably why the point spread is at 9.5. Kevin, what do you think? Who's going to win this game on Thursday night?
I think it's Kansas City's game to lose. I do like some of the Texans' move as far as what they've done in the backfield, adding Johnson, but I don't think that they've got a high enough power offense now, losing DeAndre Hopkins to even compete with Kansas City. I think it's a 2-score game, as you said. Kansas City wins.
Ryan from Cranky Veteran Candle Company just came on with us. So Ryan, good to see you. How are you? If you would like, I would love for you to do this actually. Put a message on here about all of the new scents, flavors that you have for the fall of all of the candles. And I will push it over here on the screen and then let everybody know where they can find all of your products so they can go out and buy all of the new fall scents. Please do that for me. Let's see who else is out there. He is in my lineup for FSA this week. All right, let's get to the next game. So something that we normally do, we talk about the late games for each one of the nights, Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night football, right? So we just got done talking about Thursday night football. I'm not switching hats, but I will give you my predictions for the other games. So Sunday night, we have Dallas, America's team, going over to LA and playing the LA Rams. Dallas is favored by 2.5 points, with the over under being 51. And I'm actually going to give this one to the Rams, even with Dallas favored. They don't do well on the road. I think everybody early in the season is still trying to figure out what's going on. I think the Rams defense is better than Dallas's defense. Keeps Dallas off the field, so the offense can't do with all those high-powered weapons that they have there. Kev, what do you think?
I think you're absolutely insane. I think the Cowboys unfortunately win this game. I think that they probably have one of the best offenses in the league, with both Amari Cooper, who has a odd connection to Dak. He's not a great receiver by all means, but they make it work coming in. And then with the addition of CeeDee Lamb, as well as having Zeke in the backfield, I don't think there's a shot that they lose this game.
So you're all in on Dallas, huh?
Unfortunately, it pains me to say that because I'm not a Dallas person, but I do think they pull this one out.
Well, Eric O'Neill from Empty Wagon is a Dallas fan. And he just had the comment, I wish we'd stop calling them America's team. I only called them America's team, Eric, because I knew you were out there. That's also why I put it in quotes, too. So Ryan's given his list of all of the different scents. And I guess I don't know, I always call them smells or taste or scents or whatever. There's all of them for the fall scents that are out there. And his website, crankyveteran.com. Make sure you go out and order. I'm pretty sure MJ has ordered a ton of these already. And I know that we've got the bourbon one in our house right now, going downstairs. One of them melts. And the very first day I walked in after Misty started burning that one smelled amazing. Great. Let's see. Stan Lee on the IR. No Byron Jones. No Gerald McCoy. So, yeah, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're talking about who we like for Thursday and Sunday night football. We got 2 games for Monday night football on opening weekend. I say we keep a running total, especially if you're going to come on with me more here, Kev, and then we'll see who has the better record throughout the season. And we'll keep it going. We just got to remember who did what who picked what after this broadcast.
I'm actually writing them down as we speak to make
right,
sure.
Good. Stephen Dave loves the name. Yeah, he's got great names for all of his stuff out there. If you guys, okay, so let me say this. Even if you're not a candle person, right, go out and follow the website, because the stuff that him and his wife do out there, especially on social media, Instagram, is just hilarious. Just go out and follow their stuff. So I'm so happy to be associated with them and have them on as a bowl sponsor with us this year. So Ryan, thank you very much. Yeah, definitely love them. Great names for all of them. So, hey, let's talk about Monday Night Football. We just mentioned it's 2 games. First game for all of us East Coast folks is going to be the Steelers at the Giants. Steelers are favored by 4.5. Over under is 47.5. And even though this is my mother-in-law's team, I am going to take the Steelers anyways. Nana, I'm going with your team. Kev, what says you?
I'm right there with you. I think this is the Steelers. And this, I think, new coaching staff in New York, a lot younger. I'm still not sold on Daniel Jones throwing the ball. I think all they really have is a run game, which is pretty predictable at this point. They have, subpar receivers, in my opinion. No real number 1 anywhere. So I take the Steelers here as well.
So Kelvin Ringgold, for all of you who don't know, it's his real name. This is his stage name, is TJ Styles. He's saying boo. He's not a fan of the Steelers at all, which is why he's saying that. So then for all of those that are on the West Coast, they're going to see Tennessee travel to Denver and play that game. Believe it or not, Denver is favored in this game, at least by the point spread that I saw this morning, by 1.5, with the over-under being 41. I find that very hard to believe. I am taking Tennessee, and Derrick Henry for them to win over Denver.
I am going to go the opposite route once again here. I'm taking Denver, who, if there is a higher powered offense on paper that I see than the Cowboys, it's going to be Denver. Big tight ends with Fant. Then you've got Jerry Jeudy, Higgins as well. Bigger arm there. Than you see with Dak. You have a solid run game with Lindsey, and I'm forgetting who else they have there now paired with him. Oh, Melvin Gordon is also there now. It does hurt a little bit not having some of the defensive weapons in place, but I just think for a more one-dimensional team early on in the year anyway, that I see the Titans being, I'm going to have to take Denver.
I just saw another one that popped up here. Eric says he's more worried about the announcing crew than the teams for that one. I do remember you guys saying something on the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football podcast about the announcing crew. Who was it again that's going to announce that game? Because when I heard the names, I also thought the same thing. It's probably going to be like watching Collinsworth and anybody else do a game. Just horrible to watch him do any kind of announcing. Hey, so the whole title of the show tonight is to not forget to set your lineup. So that's where we're going to next. So if you're in the redraft league, any of the dynasty leagues, whether that's Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, or Delta, if you're in the QB54 arm and leg league, make sure you set your lineups tonight. You will have up until 1 minute to set your lineup for any of the games that your players are involved in. Now, remember, that is for any game that they're playing in. So if you have to swap a player last second, you can, but once that game is over, you can't swap them out. This is mostly for my rookies that are out there that are new to fantasy football in general. So make sure you are aware of that and make sure that you get your lineups in. I was unable to get the QB54 commercial spot put up this week. We will make sure that we have that ready for next week. So for all of you that are in the QB54 arm and leg league, you know what you're playing for this year. For those of you that are not involved in the QB54 arm and leg league, we are already plugging Mike and Frank Silva, the owners of QB54, to bring them back again next year so we can do this league again, hoping to expand it all the way to 100 teams for all of you playing for this. So there will be cash and prizes next year if we can get this thing going. Eric says it's going to be Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, and someone else. Lewis Riddick. Who's Lewis Riddick? Where is he from? Is he like?
Wasn't he a running back? Lions.
The name sounds familiar.
Sorry, that's Theo Riddick. Sorry.
Okay, you're right. That's Theo. He's still playing in the NFL, I think, right? He just got released recently.
That I'm not sure of. Doesn't never stood out enough.
Yeah. All right, so hey, that pretty much ends the formal portion of the show. We've got the outro stuff to normally run through like we normally do. Kev, once again, thanks for coming on, brother. We really appreciate you being here. You want to do this again next week?
Yes, I do. I would love to be back and chat some more football with you guys.
Sounds awesome. Rocky says, can we not set lineups before Sunday's game? Rocky, you should be able to go in and set lineup right now because we have games tomorrow. So make sure you set yours up. I got mine set all the way across the board. The only one I think I don't have set up is my Meathead League that's on the NFL.com website. I have to go over and check out. Apparently people have been trading and adding and dropping and stuff like that already. Hey, let's talk about that for a second. Speaking of adding and dropping, we had a little bit of an issue over the weekend of whether we were going to open up add drops or waivers in FSA. Ultimately decided not to because the rules already said that we were going to wait until after week 1. That is going to affect a couple of people that have kickers that are free agents right now on teams. There was 4 teams across all of the teams in the alliance that did not draft a kicker when we drafted on the 29th and 30th of August. We dropped the last player that was taken in their draft and gave them the kicker of their choice. For another team that's out there that might have not hurt them even more, it at least gave them a valuable or a valid lineup, because if you had started a lineup without a kicker, you would got an automatic 0. So now you're starting a lineup with a kicker who is a free agent, so you're only taking a 0 at the kicker position. But one of the players that was drafted in the final round and the kicker that he wanted then was released by Tampa Bay, and he is now a free agent. So he's going to be taking a 0 this week. So there was some asking of why not? Why do we not have waiver wires open? And it's really crazy because this is the same rule we've used every year. However, this year, I think probably a little bit COVID related, no preseasons, teams cutting players late. I don't know if the NFL pushed the cut deadline back or to the right, which caused this, but players getting cut last second. This is definitely something that we're going to look at in the offseason. I'm leaning towards next year, making sure that after the draft is over, that we do open up the waiver wire and run it at a normal period, just like we would through the season. So just so you all know, that happened. Yes, you cannot, you can drop, but you cannot add players until the waiver wire runs after week 1, which will run at 1 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, East Coast time. And that'll be like that every single week. So just wanted to let everybody know it will be looked at in the offseason, but for 2020, that is what we're going with. Deb is on with, which is Ryan's wife. She says, use the code CrankyVet for 10% off your order. Deb and Ryan, thank you very much for that. Appreciate you guys. And for all of you that don't know, we still have to figure out which regions are going to play in which bowl games, but we do have our 4 bowl game sponsors this year. Finger Lakes Mercantile, Cranky Veteran Candle Company, which is out there right now. Southern Siren Sugar Scrub, MJ's on with us right now, and then Deep South Creations, all bowl sponsors for us this year. Once we figure out which regions are playing for that, you are playing for prizes during those bowl games this year, donated to us by those sponsors. And thank you very much to all of our sponsors that I just mentioned. So this year we have to know, Rocky, if you have no players, and let me click on, thank you, for if you do not have any players playing in Thursday night's game, no, you don't have to set your lineup until Sunday. You're absolutely fine not to set it up. But if you have players that are playing on Thursday and you intend to have them in your starting lineup, absolutely make sure that you have Thursday night, your lineup in by Thursday night. Absolutely. Now, for the players that are going to play on Sunday, go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, I was going to say, I believe that's 1 minute before each actual game goes off, correct? It's not by day. So if there's a 4 o'clock game, you can swap it with other 4 o'clock players, or vice versa.
Yeah, so if you have any Thursday night players, make sure you start them 1 minute before. If you have any Sunday players, 1 minute before. If you have any Sunday 4 o'clock guys, 1 minute before, all the way down the line like that, right? So you have flexibility of replacing players if you need to based on things. So, so we will be back, hopefully with Kevin, next week on the 16th of September at this normal time, back on that 8:30 schedule. But before we are back for the Fanatically Real broadcast, we are going to be online on September 13th. And I think somebody brought it up here earlier in the chat. Sunday, during Sunday Night Football, we are going to start an FSA happy hour. I think we are going to run that on Zoom. We will let you all know in text messages or emails of where that's going to be. Come over, join us, watch the game, kind of virtually with us as we're talking about it. You're on your TV or whatever. Enjoy your adult beverage, whatever that looks like, and come on over. Kevin, I don't even know if you drink. Do you drink?
I do. Usually either, watching a game or sitting around a campfire. Not often, but I do occasionally.
All right, cool. Who said, Rocky, if you're playing my team, you can start your Jonathan Broughton says, Rocky, if you're playing my team, you can start your lineup on Tuesday instead. That'd be awesome. Don't do that, Rocky. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to Jonathan. That would not be a good way to start the first week of the season. Definitely not. Sean's excited about happy hour. Me too. So whoever wants to go out there, he says, what is the team name for you? And I'll set it up at midnight. So Jonathan Broughton is the Blue Collar Brawlers up in the New England region. So you guys won't play each other anyways, unless you guys end up getting to a playoff game against each other. So you don't have to worry about that. Squad Locker. So we do have Squad Locker stores out there for anybody who would like one. I know I still owe the Neptunes, and I think Bill III might be out there right now. He was the Golden Boys. Need a couple of, oh, that's right, your Groot. Who Who's the Blue Collar Brawlers? Is that you in one of the Dynasty leagues? Must be a Dynasty League name. I know you're connected to it somehow. Um, I need a couple questions answered by both Bill the Third and yourself or your brother about what kind of apparel we want to put that stuff on, what color mostly, because that black and gold probably isn't going to show well on black unless we put some kind of outline on it.
Right.
Same type of thing for the Neptunes. I got to figure out angles and colors and all that stuff. So that's the biggest thing I need from you guys to figure out how to set up the Squad Locker store, but we can have it done. So tell us what you think about this setup tonight. We're going to continue making improvements with the software. We do have it for a month, so we can continue practicing with it. If you like this better than the OBS, if we like it better than the OBS, we're going to stick with it. The reason being, good thing is we have the ability to bring 10 people on the show with us, and we have the ability to go out to 6 platforms at once, correct?
3 with
3?
this version.
Okay.
The next step up was 6.
6. Okay, so 3 platforms is plenty for right now, and having 6 people to come on board with us as well. So we will be able to do Facebook Live. We will be able to go over onto YouTube Live, and then any other platform that we might pick. Somebody told me something about maybe trying out Instagram TV. I've never tried that before.
Yep.
So we might have to look into that. But for us to be able to go live on YouTube, we need to make sure that we get 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel. As of this morning, we are at 72, which is the number of teams that we have in the league right now. So if you're in the league and you're not already subscribed to the channel, please go over and subscribe to the Fantasy Sports Alliance YouTube channel. You can shut the alerts off if you would like, as long as we got the subscribers there, so we can get that custom channel name and we can start going live on both platforms at the same time. So please go over and do that for us. And then also go out and find us on all of the social media outlets. We're on Twitter, Instagram. Of course, we're on Facebook. You already know that because we're here. Go out and just search Fantasy Sports Alliance. Once we get a better feel of this software right here, we will be able to have that information running across the screen all the time for you. One thing that I did want to do that I'm not sure, I wanted to show everybody this, and I'm missing it now. There we go. Also, another cool feature that we can do at the click of a button like that is to be able to have awesome banners like this across the bottom of the screen. So we get to figure out what that's going to be used for during each one of the broadcasts as we come up to that. So that will be a nice feature that we will have there as well. So that's it. We thanked all of our bowl game sponsors, but also wanted to thank QB54 for being our arm and leg league sponsor this year. Football Darts for being this broadcast sponsor. Nature Coast Tailgating for being our World Championship sponsor this year. And of course, all of the mentioned bowl game sponsors. And of course, the Recast, who are the official music of Fantasy Sports Alliance, and those guys out there. And you get to hear part of their music every single week when we do the intro as we're coming online. So more comments. I want to see what you all think about this. Brad says, I'm going to start making ghost accounts. Got to pump the numbers up. Hey, I got no problem with that. Just don't tell anybody. I don't know if it's illegal or not, but that'd be pretty awesome if you did that or not. How about 28 ghost accounts, Brad? That'd be pretty awesome. That's what we need. Okay, so I wasn't wrong. So Boston Brawlers. Okay. Let's see. See you there. Sounds awesome. All right. Yeah. Kelvin, if you're not already over there, Kelvin Ringgold, TJ Styles, if you're not already subscribed to us over there, please go over and do that. There's the YouTube channel link. Thank you for putting that out there. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think that's it. Please leave comments here. Let us know what you thought of the show. Shoot us comments on Instagram, Twitter, wherever, and let us know what you thought about the show. See if we should keep it here or not. Kev, you got any final parting words for the fellow fanatics out there?
No, I think you covered everything. Again, thank you for having me on. I look forward to continuing to be on. Damien, if he's still out there, I wish you no luck this week, as you know, you don't deserve any playing my team, the Evil Empire, and for everybody else, I hope to see you in the championship games.
You know what? With the natural rivalry that you two have come up with, I think what we need to do is get him on the broadcast with us sometime. Um, we can do that vertical three head thing that we were
Yes.
practicing. That would be great to have all of us there together, and then just watch me dip myself out while you two go at it online. That would be amazing.
I mean,
Rocky, it does not cost to subscribe, not at all.
I would love to have him on here with us, but my only issue is we are trying to add viewers and subscribers. I'm not sure what that would how that helps us out here. But
Well,
hey, I'm all for it.
I've got two arguments to that. Well, shoot, this doesn't really help me out at all. It can't hurt. We already have a Patriots fan on here. We're bringing in a Packers fan, but none of that means anything because I'm a Jets fan. So, what does that really do to the show?
Yeah, I was just about to mention that, as I don't really know if we could go any lower than what we got. So, you know,
That's true. Agreed. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Let us know what improvements or changes you would like to see to the show. We will work with this software going into next week. Like I said, come on back next week. We got more surprises coming for you in the next couple of weeks. And wow, look at that. All the comments that are coming out now. I mentioned the Jets, and now everybody wants to talk as we're trying to get off the air. Appreciate y'all. Thanks a lot. We will see you back here next week in our regularly scheduled time of 8:30 p.m. East Coast time on Wednesday night. And Kev, I'll see you later, man.
I'll see you.
Have a good night.